I just got off a powerful group call with some members of the Rising Avatar Collective. I invited everyone to come together for a special 9-9 gateway meditation. And I never quite know what to expect when I step into the role of channeling or being a conduit for higher dimensional frequency. And today was really another mind-blowing experience. I don't like people to go into something like this with an intention because it kind of narrows the potential of what is able to actually come through. And instead, I just encouraged everybody to simply be open to whatever was in highest alignment for them, because I know full well that everyone's own divine aspect will see us gathering in this way because of the container that is created as an opportunity, and together we'll make it possible for us to experience sometimes what feels like the impossible. And that's exactly what happened. Within 30 minutes or so, 3 of the women on the call, and there were only 6 of us, including myself, experienced what you might call spontaneous clearing of physical pain. One woman who had been dealing with a constant low-grade kind of pain in her hip area that she said for about 10 years, she saw the pain immediately disappear during the clearing and release portion of the meditation. Another one of our sisters had been struggling with lower back pain and hip pain for 30 years, she said, and at the same point during the meditation, she felt her pain disappear completely. And then there was a third sister who went into the meditation, and as she described it, she was feeling pain all over her body from stress that she'd been carrying. And when she came back from the multidimensional experience, because she always kind of journeys off, this particular sister, the pain was gone for her as well. So it was such a beautiful experience. And we were brought to tears as we were realizing and witnessing each other and witnessing this spontaneous healing experience. But I do use the word healing very lightly. Those of you who are familiar with me or the work that I do, you know why. Because what was really happening, as I was explaining to everyone on our call, is that the environment was simply created within and around the body for the body to simply return to balance. And I'm not sharing this to say, hey, look what I've done or look what we do. I'm sharing this to begin to plant some very important seeds of what is possible for all of us. Because it is starting to happen more and more often as we begin to edge our way into the new organic matrix and our natural 3D human experience on Earth. And it's not just happening with us, this is happening with people all around the world. So the experience that we shared this morning was so much less about the, quote, miracles that were taking place and so much more about these 3 women at a superconscious level or soul level choosing to create a spontaneous shift in their physical bodies or their physical expression. And they chose to do it instantly and give all of those who witnessed it evidence that it's possible. Because that's exactly what happened. You know, it's the same kind of thing that happens back in the day of Jesus, for example. Miracles, you know, they took place as a way of showing us what is actually possible, to show us what we perceive is actually not real, that in the right frequency, it can be transformed. You know, Jesus was showing us as the ascended master that he was and is, that alchemy is available to all of us. Jesus's frequency was so high and his consciousness so expansive that illness simply could not exist in his presence. You know, and in this case, what is important to recognize is that these women had a willingness to remain open and simply show up to receive whatever was now available to them. And be it an activation or an upgrade or a rebalancing of the physicality, they just showed up. with no judgment, no expectation about it. They just knew they needed to be there. And two of our sisters were there who we have not seen for ages. They just knew they had to be there. So they cleared their schedules and just showed up. And they didn't know exactly why. They just knew they had to be there. And in doing so and following that inner guidance, they were in that state of allowing and this openness and not needing to necessarily have anything happen, just knowing that they wanted to be there and being there. And there is such power in that. This is one of the things I really wanted to share today, is that although this feels kind of fantastical or unattainable to the average person, this is within our reach for all of us. Miracles, we call them. They are the norm when we are using our full resources and abilities as a divine human. They are literally commonplace because underneath all the layers of false beliefs and ego programs, we are creator gods and we know it. And as such, we just do what creator gods do, which is literally create things that look like magic. And the reality we're dealing with is that we have become so used to our limitations that it's sometimes impossible to even imagine what it would look like if we were without any limitations, if anything was possible, particularly when it comes to our physicality and restoring it to a state of balance and harmonious expression, or not degrading or aging or experiencing illness or ailments at all. And the other thing about healing is we have been conditioned to believe that healing takes a long time. But a shift can happen in an instant. So again, I'm not sharing this with you today to brag or toot anyone's horn for what took place in the meditation. I'm sharing this with you to plant a seed of inspiration, and awaken that knowing within you that we all have this ability, that it's designed within us from day one. And I want to encourage you to just remember that magic and miracles like this are within our reach, no matter where we are starting from or how long we may have been dealing with something. The times that we're living in now are all about letting go of the old, letting go of what we thought was true in all areas, and opening up our minds to the possibility that all the limitations we've lived with and all the constraints and all the struggle was actually just an illusion. And that our sovereignty and our fully expressed creative power has been waiting in the wings this whole time, just waiting for us to be willing to accept it as truth, so we can take it and awaken it from its dormant state. So if you are alive at this time and you're planning to be alive for any significant amount of time on the planet, then you came to play with all of this. There's no mistake why you're here, and there's no mistake why you're in the body that you're in. And if you're listening to this and you're feeling, drawn or really curious about the words that I'm saying, then what I'm saying here on this recording is for you. Over the next weeks and months and years, we are literally going to be birthing ourselves completely anew. And for people who have the intention to do so and are committed to it, these next few years are going to be so incredible and so expansive. It's going to be kind of like we're all going through Harry Potter School of Magic together. Seriously, it's going to be that incredible. And it's going to be fun. So it's not going to matter if you're hearing this for the first time or you have been learning this and on this path for decades. We are all converging onto one path towards embodiment and unity together. So it's time to find your tribe, very simply, because that is where we're going to do this work. That's where the work's going to be done, the remembering, the practicing, the embodiment, and the activation of our true divine blueprint together as we redefine what it means to be human and entirely rewrite this human experience. If this is something that interests you, I'll leave a link below where you can find out more. Later this year, we will be forming a new collective where, as community, we will be doing this work exclusively together and diving deep. In the meantime, what I really want to get across today is keep your mind open. You are not who you think you are. You are capable of so much more than you can even imagine. And it's our time to rise and shine like the truly, truly brilliant divine sparks and creator gods that we are and that we have always been. And the time is now.